Good morning, everybody. It's COOLA from Rawstocks. We have another edition of our pre-market prep, and we are seeing the market and Futes go crazy. Nvidia at our 170 mark, and we are getting the extension to 6,300. All kind of how we predicted this would go, but now what, right? And so let's take a look at it. But before we do that, we'll do a quick shout out to our sponsors. Thanks to Gamma Edge and Black Box Stocks. If you guys are interested in utilizing the tools that we use to calculate and analyze this market data, make sure you go and use the links in our bio and go check out them tools. So, all right. Let's flip on over. First thing first, though, let's take a look at the macros real quick. You're going to see that core CPI came out this morning. We're actually seeing that increase month over month, and it's lower than their forecast, but it is an increase, and therefore we see core just CPI month over month about right there with forecast and actually a jump on month over month. And then you could see the year we start to see an increase in inflation here. So is this more to come, right? Or is this just a flash in the pan? We're going to find out. So I think the interesting thing here is we do see positive Empire State Manufacturing Index, potentially seeing that maybe we're going to start picking up later on in this year. So that's interesting foresight. I want everybody to be very cautious of all the Feds speaking today. That can create volatility, and you need to be very aware of what these people are saying. So if you're able to kind of tune into that, you might have an edge today in regards to macro data. Okay, tomorrow brings core PPI. I'm assuming that it's going to be something similar, probably right on forecast here, and we'll see if that's going to hold. So, all right, that's it for macros. Let's take a look at some of the data today. First thing first, take a look at SPX, wind on the market. And let's see, full complex here, call dominated. 6,500 is the new supply here. So we talked about that. Was it started to expand and expand and expand, and super large position, more so into that 815 area that we do see something like that. So let's see, let me just dial that in real quick. Yeah, that position is going to be on August 15th, that they have a huge amount of 6,500 calls. So are they expecting to see another extension off of this? Possibly. That's kind of what that looks like they're positioned for. So what does that mean for us today? Well, right now we have a supply at that 6290 area. Okay, there is no hard edge today, and what do I mean by that? There's no hard edge in regard to a position to the upside. So this means we could see just this continue to grow and grow and grow and be some type of directional day. Okay, the same. In the same time, we need to be cautious, because anytime we take liquidity, we need to be watching for some type of flush, okay? Especially if we're at some type of relative marker, or where we've been at, 6,300 being a huge gamma wall here, okay, for the full complex. We need to be cautious of that, all right? So this does look like it could get over the top of 6,300 and really start getting directional. But right now, we're in call-dominated gamma conditions. The transitions here at 62.65. So let's mark this up on our day trading chart. 62.90. I'm just going to leave it at 6,300 to 62.25. So that brings us actually all the way down to the gap fill down here. Okay, so that is our range. The key daily pivot, what do we say, 62.65. So this actually rises to 62.65 as virtually yesterday's close almost. Okay, so So that's a key pivot area here is into that yesterday's close, and see how we react to that. If we do sell back down to that, that's where bulls will look to step into that. It's not our favorite play because it's in the middle of our range. However, this is a area where you need to be watching, right? So anything under this, let's say if we sell off at open, you need to be very cautious of this thing to sell down and sell down quickly towards that range. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at SPY for let's take a look. Okay, full complex here. Start to see 630 grow. 630 is going to be a little bit over 6,300, and this is where you need to be watching potentially for a drive up, because that's where your big gamma wall starts. 629, 630. It's a little over 6,300. And that's where we could start to see some selling. But right now, there's no shorts on top of this. It looks all gas. Okay, 625 is your pivot zone. Puts us right around yesterday's close again, a little bit higher than that, about yesterday's high. So this whole zone here, you need to be watching for the buy on 629 to 620. So wide range here. 629 right there to 620 or right there. So range is as followed here. Need to be watching that short up in this range here. Okay, watch the short up in this range. See how that translates to a potential little scalp into this range. But you need to be cautious because it is all gas. It is all gas right now. Now we may see some shorts slammed on top of this in the first hour, and that will be interesting. But yeah, need to be very, very cautious. Let's take a look at Tesla real quick. Tesla, call dominated gamma conditions. I think what we need to be looking at is that there was a tremendous amount of shorts above here, a lot of pressure to the downside, and we're not getting that anymore. We're seeing those people all close those positions, and we're seeing this start to move up. So my potential move down towards that 280, 270 is starting to diminish. In fact, I feel relatively strong if Elon just shuts up for a while that this is probably going to move up towards that 340 and 350 area in say like the next month. It might be less than that. So need you to watch this area and watch for your 320 gamma wall. 300 still the downside, but you can see the transitional area happens at 315 today. So we will mark this up as followed. If you guys follow us yesterday, you saw that 320 was the resistance it would get sold on the gamma wall, and that's what we got sold on. We thought we might get pushed down to 307, but didn't get quite all the way there. So today we're seeing 315. This 315 area right here, act as support. Let's extend this through today. Put this here. This is going to be support. This is going to be resistance. If we do get over the top of 320 today, I do think you can get something directional, especially if the whole market starts turning directional. Watch for a push up into, say, this 330 area. And I don't think we'll get past that, okay? But watch this area right in this range, 332 to 330 on a gamma squeeze to the upside, okay? That would be breaking above 320, mounting it and holding it. But if not, watch for chop here at 320, potentially a drop down towards 315, and maybe even create some type of range here, whether that looks like a potential like consolidation bull flag, however you want to look at that, doesn't matter. I just look at the levels, right? So 320, if we see that break above, you can get long at 320, especially if you see some type of rejection candle. You could go short, especially on some type of revisit, and see if you get the extension down. All right. but your range right now is 320 to 315. Break underneath 315, you could see this thing slide a little bit, but that's only if the market does look to sell off and we start to see people add huge shorts at open. Okay, that's it for Tesla. All right, NVIDIA, we talked about this, right? Path to 170, and we're seeing it today. So there was clearly some insiders in this, because this had a ton, this was peppered with calls. It's very call dominated. 4.36 million on the GEX side here for the full complex, but 170 is your wall. Okay, so if we mount it and hold it, then we are sure we could see a squeeze. But as of right now, 170 is probably going to be it, and then you need to watch that 165 to 170 area. 162.5 is the demand here. So let's flip over here. Yesterday we talked about the support into this 162.5 area. It came pressed right underneath it and quickly got above it. We were in calls for this little move to the upside, yeah, got to sell at the first 165 visit, but now our calls are open still, and we're going to be well into probably about 400% right here on our calls. So scalped partially at 165, the 165 visit, and then we're going to sell the rest at open, and then see if this thing wants to hold at 170. Okay, so don't be surprised to see a sell down at open and just kind of chop here, maybe another push. If we do get that push, watch for the volume here. Okay, if we get the volume, we could start seeing some relative type of squeezes. You can see the weekly has us a little bit over that. We're starting to see a runoff, but you get over top of 170, we could see some type of positioning where dealers are starting to have to go long to hedge those positions. So at selling all those calls. So let's see what this is. Let's see what this is about today. I have a feeling that this thing's just going to be an absolute chop fest, kind of like we saw on this day here. Really good breakout, and then just chop. Okay. But below 170, feel free to short it to 165, and don't be scared of that. But you need to be watching 170 and do not let this thing get over the top of that. This is your pivot zone at 170. Your key pivot level is at 165. I'll raise this to 165 here. And your demand is all the way down here at 162.5. Okay, but this is our pivot level. I don't think it would possibly break below that with the news that we're getting. So that's my theory there. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to try to speed these up. So like I said, that's going to be trying to be our new theme. Hopefully you guys found this beneficial. Hopefully this has helped y'all's trading and your ranges and understanding what we're looking for and creating a plan. Because without a plan, you are just searching in the dark. So if you're interested in seeing what we do, see our game plans every single day, make sure you join our Discord. That's going to be at rawstocksllc.com. That is rawstocksllc.com. And of course, I have the links in my bio, and we have a promo going on right now for $1. Your first month is $1. Use promo code $1 on your subscription and get that discount. So it's going to end here soon. So if you're not taking advantage of it, that's on you. All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Make sure you turn on your notifications. Until next time, we'll catch you later.